Hiya, I'm Amanda, and today's class is around self-love and self-care. Yoga is all about rewarding our bodies with strength and openness, and when our solar plexus chakra is balanced, we find that we have increased self-confidence, self-esteem, and just about caring for ourselves, really. So I hope you enjoy today's class. So we're going to start by focusing in on our solar plexus. And this is located below the heart chakra, which is here. Normally you have our hands in heart, and the sacral chakra. And so it's kind of just above the belly button area, just here. So we're going to start with our pranayama or breathing. And I want us to have one hand, our right hand on our bellies and our left hand on our heart. I'll miss the microphone. And just closing your eyes. And we're just going to take a few moments to listen to our breath. So we're going to breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth. And as we do that again, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, just feel the body relax. And then on the next out breath, send any negative thoughts or thoughts that might not serve you in this class away and out on the out breath. And this time as we breathe, I want you to breathe into your belly and into your heart and feel the hands lift as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel the hands lower. Inhaling and exhaling. One more. Inhaling. Feeling the body fill with air. And as you exhale, feel the warm air leave your body. And then very gently placing your hands on your knees and gently opening the eyes if they're not open already. So we're going to do some seated cow-cat stretches, and that's really to warm up our center. So very gently, having your hands on your knees, we're going to breathe in. As we do so, just gently tip the pelvis forward, arch the spine, and take the gaze up towards the ceiling. We're going to breathe out, drawing our belly buttons towards the spine, curving the shoulders, curving the back, and taking our gaze forward. We're going to do that once more. Inhale, tipping the pelvis forward, spine arches, and we take our gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale, drawing the belly button in, moving from the center, creating space between the shoulder blade, and our gaze goes towards our thighs. And then just lifting up to a center position. So find those two sit bones in the floor that at the bottom of the base of the pelvis. And you can make some small adjustments just so that you can feel those. And we're going to do some gentle pelvic rolls. But I want you to really think about the movement starting from the center. So we'll just do the action forward first. So tipping the pelvis forward, we're just going to take the center of our body forward, and then we're going to move our body over towards the right pelvic sit bone. And then slowly moving the body to the both sit bones at the back and curving the spine to reflect that. Gently moving over to the left pelvic sit bone and then moving forward again. We'll do that with the breath going towards the right again. So breathing in, taking the center of the body over towards the right, towards the back, Breathe out, taking it to the left and forward. Once more, breathing in to the center and then to the back, over to the left and then coming forward. And then just sit back upright and find those 2 sit bones. And we're going to reverse that, so we'll go to the left this time. Bringing the breath in straight away. So breathing in, tipping the pelvis forward, over to the left, breathing out, going back, over to the right, and then coming forward again. Once more, breathing in, over to the left and to the back, circling the pelvis, finding that sit bone, and then coming forward. And then just finding your both sit bones now and lengthening the spine to the ceiling. Taking your hands beside you, we're going to breathe in and just have a nice stretch to the ceiling, lowering the right hand as we exhale, stretching over to the right side. Breathe in and then lift the chest and the center to the ceiling. So you're opening the left shoulder blade up and away, stretching up. So my gaze is towards the ceiling and my left arm is open and out. Bring the arm back. Inhale, lift both arms up to the ceiling. Exhale and stretching and reaching over. Inhale, taking that right arm up and away, opening the chest, moving from the center. Exhale, bringing it gaze forward. Inhale, both hands come up. Exhale, lowering the arms down. This time, interlace the fingers behind your hand, behind your body. And we're going to draw those hands down and away. So inhaling, lifting the chest and the center up, taking the gaze upright, and then releasing the fingers, bringing the hands forward. Bring our hands in front of us and walk them out. Gently reaching and reaching and reaching. Inhale and exhale here. Inhale, bringing the hands back up towards our knee. And we're going to sweep the legs over to one side for a couple of cow-cat stretches to warm us up. So just finding the center of the mat, making sure the hands are underneath your shoulders, opening the fingers nice and wide. And from here, again, thinking about the solar plexus. So again, drawing the belly button in towards you. Feeling the muscles around the rib cage and your core muscles wrapping around you, giving you a corset. We're going to breathe in and do a cow stretch. So tipping the pelvis forward, arching the spine and taking the gaze up. Exhale, moving from the center, drawing that belly button in mindfully and taking the gaze towards the thighs. Inhale again, tipping the pelvis forward, taking the gaze up. Exhale, drawing that belly button in and taking the gaze towards the thighs, creating space and really trying to draw the center body up towards the spine. Come back to a neutral position. So find a long spine position in this tabletop pose. So you're really wanting to try and find a connection between the top of the head and the 2 sit bones again, and lengthen the spine whilst drawing up the muscles that hold you up with your core muscles. We're going to take the right leg out behind us. So stretching the right leg out, we're just going to place it onto the floor for now and sending the energy down the heels, so stretching the back of the leg. Finding that stretch, especially if we've been seated at the desk today. Release the foot from the floor and let the leg float up towards the ceiling until it's in line with your spine. You're going to hold there, breathing in and out, in and out. And we're going to do knee to nose from this position just here. So I'm going to breathe in. As I breathe in, I'm just gently going to lift my head and my leg up a little bit further. As I breathe out, I'm going to come into cat position, bringing my knee to my nose. Inhale, stretching the right leg out, just taking the gaze up to reflect the spine. Exhale and knee to nose. Inhale and out. Exhale, knee to nose and cat position. One last time. Inhale and out. Exhale and knee to nose. Bring that leg out and we're going to take a difficulty up a little bit. So I'm going to stretch and reach my left hand off the mat. If I can't and I'm finding that my balance isn't with me today, just leave both hands on the mat. If you can, just stay here again and engage those core muscles, drawing those muscles in towards you, pulling the belly button up to the spine. We're going to do that knee to nose this time, but including the elbow if it's up. We inhale, lifting the head, the arm and the leg up slightly. Exhale, drawing the elbow and the knee to the nose. Inhale, lifting the arm and the head. Exhale, knee to nose. One more. Inhale, lifting up and exhale, knee to nose. Placing the left hand and the right knee down back on the mat. We're in all fours. And we're just going to come to child's pose as a little stretch counter pose. So you can come into normal child's pose or just open the knees out into wide leg child's pose. So just have a little stretch and a reach and finding what suits you today. And just breathe in and out. And on the next out breath, just focus on relaxing the hips and the lower back. Drawing your center towards the floor. Breathe in. And then bring yourself back up to all fours, and we'll do that on the left with the left leg. So again, reset yourself into tabletop, and we'll take that left leg back on the floor for a little stretch to start with. So lengthening the leg behind you, flexed foot on the floor, and the energy is going through the back of the leg into the heel, easing out any stiffness that you might be feeling down the back of the leg. Release the foot from the floor and bring your weight over the hands and lift the left leg off the floor. Reposition where you need to be for balance. And again, focusing in on the center, drawing that belly button in and up to you. Inhale and exhale. We'll just balance for one. Inhale and exhale. Now we're going to do knee to nose. So inhale, lifting the gaze and the leg slightly. Exhale, drawing the knee towards the nose and into cat position. Really moving from the center. Inhale, lifting the leg and the head up. And exhale, knee to nose. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Send the leg out, and this time introduce that right arm. So lengthen the arm away from you if you can. If not, just keep two arms on the floor, and we'll do two knee to nose in this position. So inhaling, slight arch of the back, lifting the gaze up. Exhale, knee to nose, drawing the elbow in at the same time. Inhale and gaze up. Exhale and knee to nose. And a small balance. Inhale and then lowering the right hand down and lowering the left knee down here. So again, we're going to come into puppy pose this time. So I'm going to keep my knees up. This time I'm going to place my forearms on the floor. So my hips are up and my forearms are flat on the floor, and I'm just going to walk my hands out and my forearms out until I stretch my upper back. So my hands are just coming off the mat slightly, and I'm gently drawing my shoulders and my chest down, keeping my hips up whilst I do that, and finding a nice stretch across the shoulders and the front of the chest. Breathe in and out and release down onto the mat. And with every out breath, just allow the shoulders and the chest to relax until your forehead reaches the floor. Breathe in and then gently walk the hands back until you're in all fours. So we're going to come into side plank pose, a modified side plank pose. So I'm going to gently bring my knees towards the long edge of the mat just here. So making sure you've got a bit of space. I'm sitting up on my legs, just with the knees slightly apart. I'm going to take my left leg out until it's nice and long. Almost like we were in a gate pose before, but I'm just going to come placing my right hand onto the mat and then lifting my left arm towards the ceiling and reaching that hand up and away. And I'm feeling that nice stretch down the left-hand side. Let's reach the arm all the way overhead. So taking the arm and stretching and reaching the arm. And exhale and bring it back up to the ceiling. This time we're going to lift the leg off the mat. So my left leg is going to come off the mat. Breathing in, lifting the left leg on if you can. Exhale and lowering it down. Once more, lifting the leg off. Inhale, lifting it off and balancing. And at the same time, you really want to be pulling up in the center, so in the side muscles of the right-hand side. Really drawing those muscles up towards you. Lower the foot. And we're going to come into modified wild thing. So I'm going to open my heart and my center towards the ceiling, taking my left arm back and away and reaching diagonally away from me. I'm opening the left-hand side of my body, stretching and reaching and really opening. Inhale, and on the exhale, come back to that side plank pose. Just have a little pop of the arm, so bend the arm and then a gentle push up, bringing that left knee in, and we'll go on the other side as well. So just getting yourself sorted, opening the knees slightly. I'm going to take my right leg out, and again, nice and long to see if we can give ourselves a nice stretch down that side. I'm going to take my left hand and it's going to reach towards the floor directly underneath my shoulder blade. Inhale, lifting the arm towards the ceiling and feeling that stretch down the side. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And on the next exhale, stretch and reach that arm above the head for a full body stretch down the right hand side. Inhale, exhale, inhale. On the next exhale, reach that arm towards the ceiling, back again. And this time we're going to lift our right leg off the floor. So breathing in and out, lifting the leg off. And we're getting a balance there. Holding, and then exhale and lower. Let's do that once more. Inhale and lift. Hold and hold. Hold. Really pulling up at the left-hand side. Pulling in and then lowering the leg down to the floor. We're going to come into modified wild thing by reaching that right arm up and away diagonally, opening the chest and the heart and the solar plexus towards the ceiling and the sky. And then finally bringing the body back in line dipping the elbow slightly and helping yourself up towards a kneeling position again. So bring yourself back onto the mat so that you're quite central into the mat. And we're going to come into a downward dog position for today. So I'm going to come into my all fours, and I'll do our little preparation for downward dog. So I'm going to tuck my toes under, and I'm just going to hover my knees off the floor. So I'm going to breathe in. As I breathe out, lift my knees 2 inches off the floor, and I'm just going to hold my core muscles, hold my belly in towards me, giving me strength, feeling. And on the next exhale, lowering the knees down. Untucking the toes, giving yourself a little bit of a wiggle. Maybe do a little bit of wag the dog in this position, just easing out any tension you might be holding in the lower back. And we're going to come into full downward dog at this point. So tuck the toes under again. Inhale. On the next exhale, lifting the hips towards the ceiling. And just having some small alterations so that you can get in a comfortable downward dog. So you might want to walk the dog out, taking the padding of the feet either side. And you might want to, again, wag your tail in this position here, just easing out any stiffness that you might be having. And we're going to take 2 breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, and on the next exhale, I'm going to take my right foot and step it behind my left foot, so I'm crossing my legs. I'm just very gently going to take my gaze underneath my right armpit, so I'm looking out and around. I should be feeling an extra stretch down the backs of my legs. Inhale, and then exhale, releasing the right foot from behind, coming back into downward dog. Breathing in. And on the next exhale, taking the left foot behind the right leg, crossing the legs. Inhale and then exhale, looking underneath the armpit, feeling a stretch down the left-hand side. Inhale, exhale, come release that left foot back to downward dog. And we're going to walk our hands towards our feet. So very gently, maybe dipping the knees slightly, taking the hands for a little walk until your hips are over your heels, bending the knees, bending at the hips, and then rolling up through the spine to come to mountain pose and standing. So I'm going to come to the centre of the mat just so that we can have a little. We're going to spread our toes in mountain pose. This is our first mountain pose of today. So make sure the feet are parallel. You're spreading your toes nice and wide. You have a good grounded base. And we're just going to take our weight and shift our weight forward over the balls of our feet. So just gently feeling where our weight is over the balls of the feet. We're going to shift our weight over the heels and feel your weight just move backwards. So you're really trying to move from the center of the body. Find that neutral position between the balls and the heels, and we'll go side to side. So shifting your weight over to the right, moving as one piece, shifting your weight back to center, and then shifting your weight over to the left side, and then coming back to center. So we're going to establish our strong mountain pose. Maybe draw the palms forward and rotating the arms slightly out. Lengthening from the spine and reaching the top of the head towards the ceiling. We're going to breathe our arms up towards the sky. So inhale, lifting the arms up. Keeping the arms, both arms up, we're going to exhale and reach over towards the right, stretching as one whole piece. Again, using the core, drawing the shoulders down the spine. Inhale, lifting the body upright. Exhale, over towards the left, stretching and reaching. Inhale and exhale, bringing the body up. Sweeping the arms behind you, you're going to interlace your fingers as we did seated. Breathing up, you're going to send the heart and the solar plexus out as you draw your hands down the spine. Taking the gaze up to reflect. Inhale. And on the next exhale, bending at the hips and coming into forward fold, keeping those arms interlaced behind you, leading your solar plexus towards your thighs. Feel the backs of the arms stretching. And again, you might, if it's too intense, just bring those arms up slightly, bend the knees a little bit. Do what you need to do to find your practice today. Inhale. On the next exhale, gently draw the hands a little bit down, release the hands. I'm bending the knees, bending at the hips, and I'm going to come into chair pose. So we're swinging the arms forward, and I can either have my hands parallel with the floor, beside my ears, or on my hips. So find something that you're able to do. We're just going to take 3 breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And on the next exhale, we're going to do a twist. So I'm going to reach my left hand on the outside of my right foot. And I'm going to open my right arm towards the ceiling. And a twisting chair pose. Stay here, 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. On the exhale, sweep that left arm back, and we're going to come back into chair pose with your hands either parallel or beside the ears. Keeping those knees nice and bent. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. On the next exhale, lowering the right hand down towards the outside of the left foot. Reach that left hand up towards the ceiling for a twist. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. On the next exhale, sweep those hands up, and we're going to come back up to mountain pose. Stretching and reaching, releasing and lengthening those shoulders. Breathe in and lower the hands and out. And then just give your hips a little bit of a wiggle because that was quite intense, and ease out any stiffness and stretching. We should be feeling really warm in our heart centers now. Chair pose is a really great one to get everything working. It's your big muscle groups, and that gets you working together. So I want us to come to the front edge of the mat. And so just stepping forward to the front edge of the mat. We are going to be stepping back, but we're going to do a small salute to the Sun Salutation, but just the first section, just to be able to give us some back stretch in the forward fold. So breathing in, our arms come up towards the ceiling to high mountain. Drawing the shoulders down, breathe out, sweep the arms down the side, forward fold, and reaching towards the floor. And so the hands might come to the shins, the ankles, or the floor. And again, you might want to bend your knees at this point, and that's absolutely fine. And just resting over, feeling that stretch down the backs of the legs. Breathe in, and on the next out breath, bring your fingers into monkey pose. So bring your fingers 12 inches in front of you. And as we breathe in, we're going to lengthen the backs of the legs, lengthen the spine, reaching the spine and the head out, and really feeling a stretch down the backs of the legs. Breathe in, and then on the next breath out, just bending the knees and relaxing the chest over the thighs. We're going to do that again. Breathe in, into monkey pose, lengthening the backs of the legs, lengthening the spine. Breathe out, placing the hands on the floor if they're not already. And this time we're going to step our right leg back into a lunge, a low lunge. So I'm going to step that foot back, dropping my knee down to the floor, untucking the toes. Inhale, and this time sweep the hands up towards the ceiling and a low lunge. Inhale and exhale here. And then on every out breath, just feel the right hip flexor stretching and reaching out. Breathe in. And on the next out breath, I want you to sweep your hands towards the base of your spine and place them on there. Draw the elbows back. Inhale, and then take the solar plexus and the heart towards the sky or the ceiling. Again, if you're feeling wobbly, just push into the back foot and send the energy down both feet. Inhale. On the exhale, bring the body upright and bring your hands down to the mat. We're going to have a little bit of a stretch and a reach towards our back foot now. So breathing in, I'm going to reach my right hand all the way back towards my right foot, sweeping it round. My left hand is on my knee, and I'm going to stretch and reach towards the back calf. If I just get to here, that's fine, but we're just stretching and reaching. And my gaze goes out and opens. Breathe in and out. In. On the next out breath, bring the arm back again, all the way over the top, and find the hands onto the floor. Tuck the toes under, and then lift that back foot off the floor if you can. Step that right leg in until we're back into forward fold, into a really nice, gentle position, just to release any of the stiffness that we've held in the legs during the lunge. We'll do our little beginning sun salutation again. So inhale, lifting the hands, sweeping the hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale and sweep them back down again for a little forward fold. Into monkey pose, so placing the hands in front of you. Breathe in, lengthening the backs of the legs, lengthening the spine. Breathe out and relax the chest on towards the thighs and relax the head. Breathe in, lengthen the backs of the legs and the spine into monkey pose. Breathe out, and this time we're going to take the left leg back, so placing the hands on between either side of the foot. We take the left leg back into a lunge, lowering the back knee and tucking the toes. Inhale, sweeping the hands up towards the ceiling and just allowing that hip to release down as you breathe out. Breathe in and out, in and out. In, and on the next out breath, sweep those hands behind you to the base of the spine, tucking those elbows in nice and tight. Breathe in, lifting the chest and the solar plexus towards the ceiling. Breathe out, in and out, in, and on the next out breath, bringing the hands back to the floor. We're going to breathe in. As we do so, reach that left hand back towards the left leg, placing my right hand on my knee to give me some support. I'm stretching and reaching, opening the front of the body, stretching and reaching towards the calf or the thigh. Breathing in and out, in and out. In, and sweep that left hand all the way back over again, finding the floor. Tuck the toes under at the back, lift the knee off the floor, and just walk that foot back into a forward fold. We're going to sweep our arms back up to mountain pose. So inhale, lifting our body upright, lifting the arms up, high mountain, palms meet up at the bar, up above your head. Exhale, and they come to heart center. And we lower. Well done. We're going to come into a little warrior pose section now. So taking your right foot towards the top edge of the mat. I'll do it this way so that you can see. So I'm going to take my front foot towards my right foot is going to go towards the front edge of the mat. My left foot is going to go facing the long edge of the mat. And my heel of my right foot is aiming for the arch of my left foot. So we've got a nice strong stance. So I'm going to come into warrior two. So I'm going to breathe in As I do so, lifting my arms parallel with the floor. As I breathe out, I take my gaze over my front hand and bend my front standing leg. I might create a little bit more space. So just make sure that you're opening the knee, the right knee, and drawing the right knee towards the little toe of the right foot. And again, opening the thigh and lifting up. Draw those shoulders down into the back and find that strong standing pose. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We're going to come into Dancing Warrior. So inhale, lift the right hand up towards the ceiling, and this time exhale, bring the left hand in front of you. And so sweeping one hand away from each other into Dancing Warrior. Now my gaze is either up towards the ceiling or out in front of me if my balance isn't quite there. Inhale, sweep those arms back up, and we'll come back to Warrior Two. Inhale and exhale, and we're going to come into Reverse Warrior. So inhale, on the exhale, lowering the left hand down, palm of the right hand facing the ceiling, lifting up and sliding that leg down, opening the chest, reaching towards the sky. Inhale and exhale. Bring yourself back upright into Warrior Two. Release that front leg by turning it in, and we'll have a wide straddled leg forward fold. So my toes are out and my heels are pointing in. So I've got my toes out here. So I'm breathing in, and as I do so, I'm gently going to take myself forward into a forward fold. My arms can either stay parallel with the floor, or if I want to, I can take them down. And just allow your body to relax over. Breathing in and out. In and out. On the next in-breath, I'm going to lift my arms up towards the floor, and I'm going to be parallel. Breathe in, and this time I'm going to lower my right hand towards the floor, my left hand comes towards the ceiling, leading that twist and turn with my centre of my body. Inhale, exhale, lowering my left hand, and my body comes parallel with the floor. Inhale, lifting my right hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lowering my arm, and my body is parallel. Bring my hands towards my hips, bend my knees, and then roll up through my spine, coming up to standing. And we'll do our little warrior sequence on the left-hand side. So, setting yourself up, left foot to the top of the mat, the right foot to the long edge of the mat, making those small adjustments for your own practice. So I have my left foot towards the short edge of the mat and my right foot towards the long edge of the mat. I'm going to breathe in, lifting my arms parallel with the floor. Exhale, my gaze goes towards my left middle finger and I bend my front standing leg. Open the left thigh and reach that knee out towards the little toe. And again, rotate the right thigh out and away. Draw the shoulders down into the spine, breathing in and out. Lifting up at the front, in and out. In and out. Breathing in, the left hand comes up towards the ceiling, the right hand comes across the waist into Dancing Warrior pose. My gaze comes towards the ceiling. Breathing in and out, and my head is towards my right foot. Breathe in and out, in and out. Inhale and come back to Warrior Two with the arms parallel with the floor. In and out. On the next inhale, lower the right hand down, Stretch and reach that left hand up towards the ceiling and bring that right hand down the back of the leg into reverse warrior. Breathing in and out. Inhale and exhale, coming back up into warrior two. Drawing those shoulders down, breathing in. And then exhale, straightening that front standing leg and then drawing those toes in. Just gently bring both of those here, work both of those heels inwards, and so that you're coming into a parallel pose. So we're going to do a balance, and it's eagle pose. So it comes from the solar plexus as well. So we're really going to have our feet parallel. Make sure our knees are over the toes. I'm going to breathe in. As I do so, my arms come up, shoulder level beside me. As I exhale, I'm going to take my right arm across my left arm and intertwine my hands, either so that the backs of the hands are facing, or I'm twisting them so much so that the palms are facing as well. But just find a practice that you can. If that's too much, cross the arms at the elbows and place opposite hand on shoulder. We're going to remain on both legs for now. So we're going to breathe in. As we exhale, try and reach those hands up towards the ceiling and gently open the hands out and away. Not forgetting your center, so lifting up at the front, feeling the stretch across the shoulders, feeling strong in the center. Breathe in. And on the out breath, releasing the elbows, sweeping the arms behind you, interlacing the fingers in a counter pose. We breathe in, lifting the chest and the solar plexus towards the ceiling. Breathe out and come back to standing. Breathe in, lifting the arms up. This time the left arm goes over the right arm, twisting the arms, finding that pose that you can do that's in your practice. Breathe in, lifting the elbows up from the shoulders. Open the hands out slightly. Breathing in and out. In. And on the next out breath, lowering the elbows, untwisting the hands, bringing the arms out and then sweeping them down and behind you. Breathe in, lifting the chest and the solar plexus towards the ceiling. Breathing in and coming back upright. Give those little knees a little bit of a wiggle because we'll have created some tension there. We're going to do this with a balance now. So I'm going to do the arms again, but this time I'm going to include the legs. When I take my right arm over my left arm, my left leg goes over my right leg. So I'll demonstrate. Breathing in, arms come up to the shoulder level, twisting the right arm over the left and bringing the hands to meet if you can, if not, backs of the palms facing. I'm going to take my left leg over my right leg at the knee and trying to twist that leg behind. So it might just be on the floor and that's absolutely fine. It might be twisted around the back of the leg. We breathe in, and as we breathe out, lift the elbows up and drop the hips slightly. So we have a two-way stretch with the hips lowering to the floor and the elbows reaching up. Breathe in and out, in and out. On the next out breath, unwind, stepping out the foot and then sweeping the arms behind, interlacing the fingers. Breathe in, a small lift. Breathe out and lower. Breathe in. This time the left arm goes over the right, bringing the hands around, twisting around. Take the weight over towards the left leg and the right leg comes over the left. Bringing the foot either behind at the calf, the ankle, or on the floor. Inhale, exhale, and lift the elbows up slightly, bending at the hips and lowering The hips are slightly to the floor. Breathing in and out, in and out, in. And on the next out breath, releasing the hands and stepping out. And then just give your arms a little bit of a shake and a twist. Well done. We're going to come to the floor for our final stretching section. So we'll do that with our little flow that we've been doing. So coming to the front edge of the mat, finding your mountain pose where we are. Breathe in, your arms sweep up to high mountain. Gaze goes to the ceiling. Exhale, arms sweep down again, and we come forward into forward fold. Bring the fingertips out 12 inches in front. Breathe in, lengthening the backs of the legs, lengthening the spine. Exhale, and we're going to come into your plank, whatever that might be within your practice today. So we can either jump, step, or come into a box plank. So I'm going to step one leg out, hands on the floor, step the other leg out. I might take my knee, I might lower to the floor, chaturanga, or I might go knees, chest, chin, and lengthen out to the floor. Very gently, we're going to come into a back bend. So we're going to come into locust position. I'm going to leave my arms either side of the mat, and my legs are going to come to the bottom end corners, so they're slightly open. And just give your hips a little bit of a wiggle so you can ease that out. I'm going to reach, now I'm in a good position, I'm going to reach my arms ahead of me, out in front. I'm going to breathe in, and as I do so, I'm going to lift my arms and my head upwards. My legs are going to stay on the floor. I breathe in, lifting the back up, and hold. Exhale and lower. Keeping my gaze forward. This time I'm going to breathe in and lift my legs away from me, and they're going to lift off the floor. So breathing in, lengthening those legs away from you, stretching and reaching, feeling the backs of the legs work. Breathe in and out and lower. Now, if it's in your practice, we're going to do both arms and legs nice and long. Breathe in and lifting the body upright. And hold. Stretching and reaching. In, and then on the out breath, bringing the body back down. Take the hands towards the chest, and we're going to come into wide leg to child's pose. So opening the knees to either side of the mat, heels together, and I'm just going to lengthen away from myself. Feeling myself stretch towards the floor, allowing my chest and my heart and my solar plexus to reach down as I breathe out. Breathing in and out. Walk the hands back upright towards the knees, so you're now upright, sitting in a seated position. I'm going to sweep my hips towards the floor, and I'm going to come and just rotate myself around, and I'm going to come and lie on the mat for a few exercises just on my back. So making sure that you're comfortable on the mat, you're quite in a centered position, hips are down, the backs of the feet are towards the glutes, and my palms of the hands are facing downwards. And we're going to do some hip rolls up towards the ceiling. So inhale. On the exhale, I'm going to tip my pelvis forward, very gently reaching my hips towards the ceiling, lengthening the front of my body up and away. If I want to take this a little bit further, I can either interlace my fingers and walk onto my shoulders, or if I'm more flexible, reaching for my heels and bringing myself upright if I wanted to. But if you're absolutely fine, just here. Breathing in And on the next out breath, rolling down through the spine, and the hips are the last thing to reach the mat. And just give the hips a little bit of a wiggle, releasing any tension. We're going to breathe in, and on the next out breath, I'm going to reach my legs and my arms away from me, so I'm in a full body stretch. Drawing my shoulders down into my back, so trying not to have my shoulders by my ears, and just gently stretching the front of my body, trying to draw the hands directly ahead of me. Breathe in. And then on the next out breath, I'm going to lower my right hands towards my right knee. My right knee is going to come towards me. And I'm just gently going to draw that knee in towards my chest. Breathing in and out. In and out. So I'm going to come to happy baby, but it's like a half happy baby pose. So the full pose would be this, where you've got your feet on the outside, but I'm just going to do one foot. So I'm going to bend the right leg at the knee, and I'm going to take my right hand on the outside edge of the right foot. And by doing so, I'm drawing the right knee into my shoulder armpit, and I'm just giving myself a little bit of a stretch at the hip, feeling that open. And if you want to take your other hand, you probably can do so, but just got the one hand for now. Breathing in and out. And then on the next out breath, just releasing the foot. Again, bringing the knee in line with the shoulder and just drawing the knee in towards you. We're going to come for a lower back stretch. So take the left hand onto the right knee. The right hand is in a T position on the right hand side, and you're just going to draw that right knee across over towards the left hand side, aiming to look towards the right hand. And again, drawing that right shoulder down and away into the mat. Maybe using the left hand on the knee to assist the knee and give a little bit of an extra stretch. Breathe in, and then the breathing out, drawing that right hip back down to the mat, lengthening that right leg away and bringing the arms beside you. Breathe in, lengthen the both arms above the head and feel that full body stretch. Breathe out, draw that left knee in towards the chest and give it a little bit of a hug. Breathe in and out. In. And then on the next out breath, lifting the foot towards the ceiling, taking the left foot on the outside, and the hand is reaching towards the outside of the left foot into that nice hip stretch. Bring the knee back in towards the chest and give it another hug. Take the right hand across the left knee and draw the left knee across the body and over towards the right hand side, reaching the left arm out towards the left hand side for a stretch. Your gaze goes over towards the left hand, drawing that left shoulder down into the mat. Breathe in and out, and drawing that left hip down into the mat. And lengthen that left leg away. And we're going to come into our relaxation now for the last 5 minutes. So just getting yourself a jumper or a mask, or taking the lights down low, and finding some calm and relaxation. So just taking some time to settle into the mat. Again, reconnecting with your breath and allowing your body to relax. Breathing in and breathing out, and finding the body soften. Again, breathing in, breathing out, and soften the body. And we're going to just do a very gentle, quiet meditation about self-care. And I want you to start thinking about somebody or someone who has shown you loving kindness. And gently picture their face. Remember the action. Maybe it's someone that you have shown loving kindness to. Maybe it's a child or a pet, a parent, a loved one. Recognize how you feel about that. And find that care and that kindness. And once you can cultivate that feeling, see if you can awaken the loving kindness towards yourself. I'm taking some affirmations with you today. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be free. May I be happy. May I be loved. So gently bringing your focus back into your own mind. Gently bring your awareness back into your own body and take some deeper breaths, breathing in and out. Sending energy to the limbs, to the arms, to the legs, the fingers and the toes. Gently awaking them. Breathing a bit more deeper and awakening the body, finding yourself rolling over onto your side. And very gently pushing yourself up towards a seated position that you're comfortable with. So we'll just very gently finish with a namaste to end with. So I hope you enjoyed this solar plexus class about self-love and self-care. And I'll finish with a namaste. Namaste.